Kabong! Futures made of virtual insanity and always seem to be governed by this love we have for useless twisting our new technology. Oh, now there is no sound because we all live underground. Yeah! What's up, guys? This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. And guys, I feel like I'm going to do a follow-up. This is going to be a follow-up to the last video I did, all right, regarding the fallout from the George Floyd murder. Okay, I said murder, she wrote, man. It was fucking murder. It wasn't no third degree, but I don't know. We might not be able to get first degree. You know, these courts, they're very, very tricky. But anyway, listen, I was just thinking to myself, guys, you know what I was thinking? I was thinking to myself, guys, I don't remember last year, right? I did this video, and I was talking about DC Comics and this title, this line of comics that they had called Milestone Comics, right? You remember Milestone Comics? Static comes from there, better known as Static Shock, Static Cling, whatever. All right. Also, they had titles such as Icon, Blood Syndicate, Hardware, Cobalt. You know, it was quite a few of them. And it was great. It's like I collected all of them. It was really nice. And the point that I was making is that whole universe of characters, and they were very, very diverse. That's the reason why I was talking about it. If DC ever wanted to go, you know, diverse or whatever, they have like a ton of characters they can use. All right. But anyway, the point that I was trying to make is that the majority of those characters got their powers through an event called the Big Bang. The Big Bang, all right? And what that was they got a bunch of rival gangs and other dregs of society together, and they got them all in one place where they were gangbanging, right? They were fighting each other. The only thing was the police and the government were ready for them, and they finally wanted to be fucking rid of them, right? So what they did was they bombed them with this chemical, and the chemical was supposed to kill them. All right, because they had them all in one place. They knew they were coming. They predicted that, right? So they knew where they were going to be. So they were ready for them. And they bombed them. And a lot of people died. A lot of people in the comic, whatever, a lot of people died. But the ones that didn't die somehow ended up developing superpowers. And that was a hell of a jump-off point for your super universe, you know? And I always said this would play great on the big screen. But the point is that it got me to thinking, because I was watching one of those morning news shows today and everything. And as you guys know, since the story broke about George Floyd, all hell has been breaking loose, all right? People have been running through the streets. They've been rioting. They've been looting. And on the other side, you have people who are peacefully protesting, all right? But the point is that people have been converging. They've been congregating, okay? And it seems like the news of the George Floyd murder and the fallout and everything, that news has been dominating the airwaves to the point where I think that some people are forgetting that we're still in the fucking middle of a pandemic, all right? So I can't help but notice as I'm watching this footage that people are not safe distancing. No, they're not. And people are not wearing masks all the time. And if they are wearing masks, a lot of times it's to cover their identity. But still, you have enough people who are running around out there not wearing masks for it to be a true health concern. All right. So that's what's going on out there. And I just want to say this, guys, because a lot of people have been arguing about what this protesting, even some of the looting and rioting is about, and how we're supposed to understand that these people they're outraged and they're hurt, and this is the way it goes, and you can't judge them. Even I said that myself. Be careful about judging these people because they're hurt. We all understand that. But does the Crayola virus understand that? Does the pandemic understand that? The answer is no. The pandemic does not understand that. All right. So people are out there and they're risking their lives and their health and their safety and the safety of their families by not social distancing, by being out there and breathing in each other's air and each other's vapors and all that stuff. And some of them are bleeding. All right. So blood and open wounds and things like that are exposed. You have people who are out there who are trying to protect their businesses, which were already crippled by the pandemic and the shutdown. They're on their last leg. I know this for a fact. So, of course, they're going to go out there. Everyone has been shut in. Everyone has been staying at home. And that is not a good way to be emotionally, psychologically. People are already struggling. And then we have something like this come up. And I can't help but wonder, Is this some type of a psyop? Yes, I'm going to say it, all right? Because it's a perfect recipe, because black people are very, very predictable in their actions, all right? So when you have something like this, when you have a black man who is killed in such an outrageous fashion, of course, there's going to be civil unrest. People will see you coming a mile away. All right, in the middle of a pandemic, and they say, let them go, let them do what they have to do. And we already have heard stories about black people suffering and dying disproportionately from this virus, and no one can tell us why. But we're out there, all right, and we're risking ourselves, like I said before, putting ourselves at risk, and we're doing things that nobody would feel any type of sympathy if we were to fall at this point, because we're out there beating the shit out of people. We're out there showing our worst, and that's the problem. All right, so now what can happen? We can have a spike. We can have a spike in the virus. All right, we had a few weeks ago, we were talking about how China was trying to, deny black people entry into McDonald's and other businesses like that. Like they're trying to project the Crayola virus onto black people and saying that since they're affected more than anybody, that we're justified, in being discriminatory when letting them into our businesses and stuff like that. Now, don't you see that the same thing can happen here? All right. This is my concern. Okay. I'm not trying to judge people. I'm just trying to say, logically speaking, realistically speaking, this is a risk. All right. So you got people out there and they're not doing what they're supposed to do. And as a result of this, what do you think is going to happen? All right. The institutionalized racism that people are crying against, you're going to go running to those institutions. You're going to go running to those hospitals looking for help. All right. And you don't know if that doctor, if that nurse, you don't know if there's somebody who knows somebody who lost their businesses, or maybe you busted that person's ass last week. And all of the horrible ill will that we have towards each other, it's a recipe for disaster. This is what I'm talking about. People have to consider these things, man. It's like, I'm not saying that it is or it isn't. I'm just saying that this is the reality of where we're living now. So if you know anybody who is outraged by what's been going on, if you know anybody who is talking about going out there to demonstrate, even the peaceful protesters, I said this on another video when we were talking about Ahmaud Arbery. Even when you peacefully protest, you still must obey the rules. Obey the rules of social distancing, and the rules of wearing face masks and all of that stuff. You have to be so careful. It wouldn't be hard to set us up in a situation like this. And I'm just tired of black people being so easy. I understand the outrage. I understand the hurt and the frustration. And it's not just black people that's out there either. So I just want you to know that. But that's kind of the way it's being perceived on the news. You know what I mean? Because that's what they're showing. Although if you look, you see everybody's out there. All right. But the point is that they're reporting that black people are affected more so than others, and our fatality rate is higher. So we got to be smarter than this, but it could be too late. So I hope that it was worth it. You might be bringing home more than that Samsung TV, if you know what I mean. All right, guys. So I just wanted to put it out there. It's just something to think about. Guys, stay home. Stay home. This is the age of social media. You don't have to be running through the streets like it's 1960, 1970, 80, 90 anymore. There are so many different avenues, so many different ways to be active. All right, guys. I just wanted to put it out there. Something to consider. Talk to your family, talk to your friends about it. And I don't know, guys. Be careful. None of this stuff, by the way, especially the looting part, the looting. And, there, like I said before, there are people, good people out there, black people, white people, every other type of person out there who have been struggling to maintain their small business, who are probably equally as outraged by what happened to George Floyd. That's the thing about this. It's like, if you really have been paying attention, you know that most people feel that was excessive. Most people feel that justice has to be done. So running through the countryside, running through stores, tearing up people's businesses and beating people up in the street and shit, there can be no justification for that. That's just evil. That's just the force of evil running through us all. And we have to know, guys, no matter what your religious affiliation is, you have to know that this spirit that's out here now, this energy that's out here now is negative. All right. It requires all of us to take a deep breath, to sit back and consider our actions, not to go running out, dictated by our emotions. Think. Take the time to think, all right? Because if you have enemies out there, like a lot of you believe that you do, they're not playing by your 1950 We Shall Overcome rule book anymore. They're not playing by your no justice, no peace rule book anymore. They're not playing by your hands up, don't shoot rule book anymore. The game has changed, and we must change with it. I just pray that it's not too late. All right, guys, that's it for now. I will catch you on the next one. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on and be safe.